Okay, I need to talk to my California and my New York people, and if you're not one of them, then send this to everyone you know in California and New York. This is very important. Do you remember back in 2022 how we had the midterms and we were supposed to lose? It was supposed to be horrible, the red wave, yada yada, but then we didn't. We did really well almost everywhere. And the two places that we didn't do well were New York and California. And it was because of congressional races in those two states that we lost the House of Representatives. That is why we now have a 5-seat minority. We are 5 seats down, basically. The reasons given at the time were, well, California and New York, they didn't feel like they had reproductive rights on the ballot or democracy. There were no election deniers running here, although there actually were, but people didn't feel the same sense of urgency. But what is happening now, I fear, is that we are perhaps seeing a repeat of that, and it's very bad. And here's why. The road to getting the House back, right, the congressional House, which we need, the House of Representatives, which is one of the things we need in order to pass legislation to make Kamala Harris successful, is through California and New York. Right now, though, voter turnout, at least in my state, is still really, really low. And I just got a panicked text message from an activist friend of mine who's doing work up in CA22, which is one of our most flippable districts. She said voter turnout here is only 15% so far. Now, bear in mind, Californians, all of us, have had our vote-by-mail ballots for 3 weeks now. They send one to every registered voter. It couldn't be easier to vote here. And yet, most Californians have not voted yet. Now, we are a week out from this last day of voting on November 5th. 6% of young people 35 and under, have voted. 6%. My fear is that we are going to once again think we're safe here and not turn out. Oh, and the presidential election doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Every state matters. Every single vote in that election is going to matter. We need as high a popular vote threshold as we can get. But that aside, we must win these seats. And so what I'm asking you to do, if you are in California or New York, I know New York, you just started early voting recently. California, we've had much more time. Get your ballots in, please, in either state, because remember, as we get our ballots tabulated when we vote early, the numbers of people that the campaigns have to reach get smaller, and they're able to more successfully reach out to lower propensity voters. So for God's sake, if you've got that ballot, and you do in California, and it's been sitting on your dining room table like mine always used to for weeks, fill it out. We must win the House. Unless you have enjoyed 2 years of Mike Johnson and them doing nothing but impeaching Joe Biden, which they wasted 2 years on. We want a Congress that functions, that does things. We want Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker. We want Kamala Harris to have a House that is behind her and working with her. We want our reproductive freedoms. We can't have that without a Democratic-held House. And we can't have that if people in California and New York State don't vote. Period, full stop. We will not get the House back. So please, vote, and then once you've voted, help us, volunteer, knock doors, make phone calls, talk to your friends and relatives in the states. Let's not make the same mistake twice. Let's make sure we get Hakeem Jeffries into that seat with that gavel in his hand, and let's make progress towards a beautiful future. We can do it, but only if we focus on all the balls we've got in the air, not just one. Thank you.